Hi. Today we will start our lab session.
So, before starting our lab, I have made one network diagram for you, which helps us to better understanding. To set up our lab we need at least one Sophos XG firewall, one managed or unmanaged switch, one PC and one server. We are using all the things in this lab with the help of virtual machine, therefore, we must have VMware Workstation. Let's start download the VMware Workstation. Open Google Chrome browser. In the search box type download VMware Workstation. And press enter. Click on Download VMware Workstation Pro. Just scroll down the page. At the bottom of the page, you will get Workstation 17 Pro for Windows. Below that, Download option is available. Click on Download option. Then it will start downloading. I have already downloaded it. Double-click on the exe file. Click on Next. Click on Next. Click on Finish. And restart your PC. Now setup process is complete. Open VMware Workstation. Click on Edit. Then Virtual Network Editor. By default in Virtual Network Editor, there are two ports, one is VMnet 0 and another one is VMnet 8. VNet 0 is my virtual LAN port, which is connected to my physical LAN port. So I choose wireless LAN card. Then click on Apply. Look at the type column of VMnet 0. It is in bridge mode. That means it is directly communicate with my physical wireless port which is present in my personal computer. Now, add one virtual network in VM Workstation. Click on Add Network. Give a name and click OK. Whose type is host only and DHCP is enabled in it. In the same way, add another virtual port and name it VMnet 2. In VMnet 2 type is host only. But DHCP IP is disabled. This is done by uncheck the option Use local DHCP server. Then click on Apply. In the same way create VMnet 3, VMnet 4 and VMnet 5. Enable DHCP IP address for VMnet 3, VMnet 4, and VMnet 5. Keep type is host only for VMnet 3, VMnet 4, and VMnet 5. Now let's discuss about VMnet 8, whose type is NAT. That means NAT mode will mask all network activity, as if it came from your host OS. Click on OK. Now download Sophos Firewall OS. Open browser. And type www.sophos.com. Click on Free Tools, then goes to Sophos XG Firewall Home Edition. Fill up the required field and click on Submit button. Click on Download button. Check your email ID. Sophos sends you an email that contains virtual firewall serial number. Create a new virtual machine. Select Custom Setting and click on Next. Then Next. Choose I will install operating system later. Then Next. Select Other and Next. Give a name to your virtual machine. Choose location, where to save the virtual machine. Click on Next. Choose number of processor 1 and number of cores per processor 2. Then, Next. Increase RAM size to 8 GB. Next. In this page, Keep all the things as it is, because we will change it later. Next. Once again, click on Next. Select Create New Virtual Disk, next. Set maximum disk size is 10, or you can select 8 also. Click on Store Virtual Disk on a single file, then Next. Choose Location, where to save the disk file and give a name to it. Select Customize Hardware. Select New CD/DVD. Click on ISO image file. And select Sophos ISO file. Then close the dialog box. Click on Finish.
Now edit Sophos Virtual Machine. Click on Edit Virtual Machine Setting. Go to Network Adapter option. In Network Connection section, choose Custom. Click on drop-down button and select VMnet2 host only. Let us assume that network adapter of virtual firewall is port A or port 1, which is the default LAN port of Sophos firewall. Therefore, we are assigning it to VMnet2. In the same way, create network adapter 2. And in the network connection session, click on Bridge. This is because network adapter 2 is our port B or port 2, which is default WAN port in virtual firewall as well as in physical firewall. Create another port that is network adapter 3. And in the custom option, select VMnet3 host only. In the same way, create network adapter 4 and choose VMnet4 host only in the custom section. Like this, we will create another port that is network adapter 5 and assign it to VMnet5 host only. Remember that the ports we are created in virtual firewall All are virtual port, that means all are imaginary ports, but the functions of all the ports are same as your physical firewall. Let's once again discuss about the ports that we are created virtually. Look at the picture. I have one physical computer in which I have installed VMware Workstation. Within VMware Workstation I have installed my virtual firewall. In my PC, I have one physical network port, and in my virtual machine I have one virtual port, that is VMnet 0. These two ports are connected through bridge connection. Because to get direct network access from my PC to virtual machine. Also I have created 5 numbers of host-only ports. This is because to establish the communication between host and virtual machines created in VirtualBox on the host. In this lab we are using another port, that is VNet8, whose mode is NAT, which is helpful to provide internet access to the other devices in the network. So in all the virtual ports, I have enabled DHCP/IP, except VMnet2, in which DHCP/IP is disabled. Because this port is connect to port B or port 1 of the firewall, which is the default LAN port of Sophos firewall. In Sophos XG virtual machine we have also 5 numbers of virtual port. Network adapter 1, which acts as port A or port 1 in virtual firewall, is connected to host-only network VMnet 2. And this is the default LAN port of firewall. Like this, network adapter 2 is in bridge mode to provide internet access to our firewall, which is the default WAN port of firewall. This is also known as port B or port 2 of the Sophos firewall. Rest of the port of the firewall is connected to virtual machine through host-only mode and assign VMnet 3 host-only, VMnet 4 host-only and VMnet 5 host-only respectively. Now click on Power on this virtual machine to install Sophos XG operating system. Wait for few seconds. Now installation begins. Type Y and press Enter. Now press Y to reboot the virtual firewall. admin is the default password. After giving password, one dialog box will appear. Select Accept and press Enter. Type 1 and press Enter. Once again type 1 and press Enter to view the network interface. Here port 1 is our default LAN zone and default IP address is 172.16.16.16. And port 2 is our default WAN zone. Press Enter to continue. Do not make any changes, we will change it later. Press 0 to exit. Now create an virtual machine to install Windows. Click on Custom Setting. Go to CD/DVD option, select Use ISO image file. Then select the ISO window file. Select Network Adapter option and click on Custom, then from the drop-down menu select VMnet2 host only. Because our PC is connect to the firewall through default LAN port, that is port 1 or port A. Now power on the Win 10 virtual machine and install Windows on it. Now check the IP address of Windows PC. Windows PC having the IP address 172.16.16.17. Now check the connectivity to our firewall by using the ping command. Type ping 172.16.16.16, which is the default IP address of Sophos firewall. Now, we get reply from firewall. That means, our connection between the PC and firewall is established. The default IP is 172.16.16.16, and the default port number is 4x4. Type https://172.16.16.16.4444 in the browser. Click on Advanced, then click on Continue. Select I accept and click on Start Setup. Then change the password. The password must have 10 characters, at least one upper and one lowercase letter, at least one number and at least one special character. Click on Continue. Give a name to the firewall. Select the time zone. Here I choose time zone Asia Kolkata. Set time. Then continue. Check your register mail ID and get the Sophos XG firewall license. Type the license number and continue. Now in Sophos device management page, create Sophos ID, if you don't have. I have already created Sophos ID. So I just sign into it. After giving register mail ID, click on Send verification code to mail ID. Check the mail ID and enter the OP. Click on Next. Enter the password and then Next. I will register my device in Sophos Central later. Therefore, I do not need to do anything in this page. If you do not have any Sophos ID, then follow this procedure. And create Sophos ID. Now, we have completed our basic setup process of Sophos XG Firewall. Click on Continue. Do not make any changes in this page, just click on Continue. Select all the option and click on Next. For notification and backup purpose, give mail ID, recipient's mail ID as well as sender's mail ID. Do Do not provide encryption password, we will do it later. Click on Continue, it will redirect you to the configuration summary page. Click on Finish. Wait for few minutes to complete the setup process. Now firewall is restarting. After restarting, you will get the firewall homepage. Our Sophos firewall registration complete. Now it is ready for use. Thank you.